What is up, everybody? I am your Italian god, your Italian ace, your former and greatest WWE pay-per-view champion of all time. And you're one of your hosts for the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Anthony, whatever you want to call me, as long as it's the greatest.
Yourself.
What?
You take way too long. Oh, look how good I am. I'm the greatest of all time. No, you're not. You're not the best because Macho Man Dan is. Dig it.
Well, I can dig the idea that you're the self-proclaimed best, but as I always say,
and we'll see once we do Survivor Series predictions. We'll see who the best is then.
we'll see because there will be a new champion crowned. But my favorite motto: heroes get remembered, but legends never die. So don't forget about that. I'm the one. But we'll find out at Survivor Series. That's Survivor Series predictions coming down. But you are here listening to our WWE Friday Night SmackDown, November 18th, 2022, pay-per-view live from Hartford, Connecticut, my hometown. Well, not my hometown, my home state. I'm not from Hartford. I'm from New Haven. Haha. So I was excited to go. It was a very good show. They didn't really have much planned until, we got there and then we saw what happened, the matches and everything. But the night starts out with the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre come out. We know that they're going to take on the Bloodline at Survivor Series in the War Games match. And they basically talk about the fact that they're together and that Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are best friends and it makes sense for them to come together. And they were just sort of happy about them becoming a team again. And that's when Sami Zayn comes down and interrupts. And Sami's taking on Butch later on tonight in the World Cup match. I think it's the semifinal match. I don't know. And so basically, he just says that your guys are in trouble at War Games. And Sheamus says, well, listen, you can talk all you want, but once you find out who our fifth member is, you're pretty much going to shit your pants. And that pretty much ends the segment. So what do you think of we find out later on who the fifth member is, but do you think Sami, should be scared?
No, I don't think he should be. I mean, it's really Butch. I mean, yeah, he's done a lot, but that doesn't really mean he's. I don't really know how to describe it. He's done a lot, but he hasn't done enough to prove himself yet. I feel like Sami's done a lot, so I don't think he has to be scared of anything.
Okay. Well, they claim he's gonna shit his pants. We'll find out later. So,
it doesn't matter what they claim.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was happy later on in the show. So I was excited to see all these guys. Especially some of the guys I haven't seen in a while since, the whole COVID situation. But we have our first World Cup match. Ricochet defeats Mustafa Ali in a very great match. The crowd was on their feet the entire night. I was on my feet the entire match as well. And Ricochet got the win after a very impressive shooting star press while Mustafa Ali was standing up. After the match, Ricochet sat beside Ali on the apron to show respect to one another. But what did you think of the match and Ricochet advancing? Was he the right guy to move on?
Well, I mean, they definitely did put on a good match. I'll say that. I'm excited to see where Ricochet takes this. If he can win, I think it'll be really interesting. So, I mean, yeah, I would say he was the right guy to win. It really depends on if he actually wins the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Well, we'll see. I mean, Ricochet tends to always get like higher and higher, and then it's sort of. But we know now that he will take on Braun Strowman on SmackDown next week, so that's his competition.
Personally, I hope Ricochet wins because he's been needing of something, considering how he's always gotten so high, but then he immediately comes crashing back down.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more. I have a theory, and we'll get to that later on. So the Bloodline are backstage, and Jimmy Uso basically says that we all need to be on the same page for when Roman Reigns gets to the ring. And Sami is like, all right, let's cool it. Let's all get on the same page. And that's just pretty much backstage shenanigans of the bloodline these past couple of weeks. Just someone's gonna crack. I don't know who it's gonna be, but eventually that bloodline's gonna come tumbling down. Um,
It might be for a while though.
you think it's gonna take some time?
We'll have to wait and see, but that's my prediction. I don't think something is going to break them up like that very quickly. I mean, think about it. They're all champions and everything. They're their family. It's going to take a lot to do that.
Okay. But do you think maybe a crack might start soon?
That's possible, but I think they're going to wait a little bit longer. Like if something does, it's going to be like it's going to be very minuscule that it'll appear, but then it'll immediately go away. You know what I mean? And then it'll start up again and then go away. It's going to take a little bit more than just the brawling brutes and Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre to break them.
We'll see. We'll see. We have that tomorrow night. The New Day are interrupted backstage by Imperium, and they basically call Gunther Lurch from the Adams family, which is pretty funny, I guess. And Imperium challenges the New Day to a 6-man tag match. They tell him to find a partner. I love Imperium, so I was happy to see them in the ring. The New Day are always good too, but this is sort of just brought together kind of randomly. So, what do you think?
I mean, I feel it could be a good match. I'm not going to say that, and it also depends on who they're tag team with. I mean, but I could definitely see it again being a good match. I mean, it's the New Day and Imperium. I feel like they can, if possible, I think they could have pretty good chemistry together.
Chemistry, I agree. Speaking of chemistry, Emma is backstage with Madcap Moss and she's trying to flirt with him. And she basically tells him that you will have a new start tonight when you take on Karrion Kross, which we all know is probably not gonna happen. So we do have a rematch. Madcap Moss taking on Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and Kross gets the win after a cross jacket. I'm not gonna lie, this entire match my camera was on Scarlett. So
Quack,
but,
quack.
I saw some things. After the match, Emma runs down in the ring to check on Madcap Moss.
Okay.
What?
I said, at least you weren't an elderly woman throwing beer on her. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I was just a normal, nice guy that's just filming her ass and tits.
Yeah, normal. Okay, sure.
Um, joking. Scarlett's beautiful.
A bit like DDP right now with that soccer share.
But what do you think of Emma now starting to get involved? Do you think we're going to eventually see a mixed tag match? It seems like Scarlett's going to put herself get in there.
It could be interesting if they do that. I mean, it really depends on if it depends on if she actually really feels like she could do it. When's the last time she had a match?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be the first time in WWE, so it'd be interesting to kind of see what she does, what she brings to the table. And if it's a mixed tag match, at least she doesn't have to do too much because she can take time to, sit and.
It would also depend on like how good WWE could really book her in that match. I mean, like you said, it's a mixed tag match. If they do it, it would be that. So it would have to be like 100% focused on her.
Yep, I agree, sir. All right, so this moment was really exciting for me. Bray Wyatt comes out. We all went nuts. He basically wants to apologize to LA Knight for his attacks last week. LA Knight comes down and he basically says, I come out here because I'm ready to accept your apology. Gets on the apron and he slaps Bray Wyatt. And he basically says, we're even now, we're even. And he offers his hand to shake. Bray goes to shake Ellie's hand, and Ellie slaps him again. And Ellie backs off laughing, and Bray stares at him. And we see Uncle Howdy images of him flicker behind Ellie Knight on this Titantron. What do you think of this? Wyatt looked pissed.
I mean, I'm surprised that they're still going with this whole thing, but at the same time, it could be interesting. I'm generally actually getting interested in this whole thing.
Ellie Knight isn't that bad.
I think would do or be doing is having LA Knight possibly be one of Bray Wyatt's 6. That's all I'm saying. Maybe LA first victims.
That'd be very cool. It's kind of become like a sort of like a um gosh, kind of like they would what they used to do with the ministry where they would like attack, make them the victims and they would join. Okay. Interesting. Very cool. Well, speaking of joining, the Usos are backstage and they confront Karrion Kross and they say, "Are you the fifth member of the Brawling Brutes and McIntyre team at Survivor Series?" And Kross basically says, "Listen, when I come to take Reigns' title, it will be on my own terms, and it's not going to be at Survivor Series." So I like that little hint that Kross is coming after Reigns, but he's not going to be the fifth member, which we kind of knew.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be interesting that if Cross does go after Roman, I do think it was good that they hinted at it, considering the fact that Cross has looked like he was going to go after him, but hasn't fully done it yet.
Mhm.
So it was definitely interesting that they hinted at that. I'm excited for that, truthfully.
Dude, me too. It's gonna be a sick confrontation. Um, Speaking of a sick confrontation,
Scarlett, that's interesting.
what happened?
I said it would be cool to see Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns versus Scarlett and Karen Cross. You
I
know,
just
like,
want to see Scarlet in anything.
all right, fair point.
We get this match, which the fans in the arena were not happy to see. Shotzi defeats Shayna Baszler with the SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey after Raquel Rodriguez comes out and distracts Shayna, allowing Shotzi to get the role of victory. It was awesome to see Ronda Rousey for the first time ever. She's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. I know she's not a great wrestler, but it is cool to see someone that famous in person because I can click that off. But aside from that, the fans are chanting, "This is awful," and they weren't behind Shotzi, and I don't think anyone is. I think this is just sort of a placement match. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that's not what we were hearing on TV. That just proves on how good you are when you actually go to a live event. You
What did
actually,
they? What was happening on TV
I what I heard was this is awesome, not this is awful.
during the Shotzi and
Yeah, they
no, they were chanting, "This
you know
is awful."
actually saying this is what WWE made it sound like.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like that's crazy that they did that because we literally were saying. I mean, I wasn't saying anything, but they were saying this is awful. They were not saying this is
Well,
awesome.
WWE, do you really expect anything? They for like
Well, I
11
thought they
years.
would do something different with Triple H under there, like keep it in. It's uncensored. I thought it would be a bit more, but I guess not.
I mean, they had for 11 years they had the hair dryer pop. I mean, come on.
Oh, I hate that shit.
I mean,
Uh,
it's true.
but what are your thoughts though? How do you feel about Shotzi?
I mean, she's a good wrestler, but I mean, it wasn't exactly that good of a segment or a match.
Yeah.
It's mediocre at best.
Well, speaking of something not mediocre, LA Knight is seen backstage under a pile of pipes and all kinds of debris. Obviously, Bray Wyatt did this. LA Knight, dude, you got something coming for you, and you better be careful.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. Dan's got a cute dog, by the way, that he's
Yeah, he's kind of attacking me right now,
I
and
like
it's
him. He's cool.
he's trying to bite me while we're talking. So
He's smiling. Well, sounds like Bray Wyatt. Speaking of while Dan's getting attacked, we have our six-man tag match. Imperium taking on the New Day and their partner Braun Strowman. And the end of this match comes after a midnight hour by the New Day. And Gunther goes to get into the ring to make a save, but Braun scares him out of the ring. And the New Day end up getting the pin on Marcel Bartel. What do you think of Braun Strowman scaring Gunther? I mean, Gunther doesn't seem like a guy that should be scared of anybody.
you're right. I mean, it's a weird situation. I don't think he's that scary. I mean, is he? I get that they're trying to make him that way, but he's not really that good at the whole idea of it.
Like, I wouldn't mess with Braun Strowman, but I think Gunther is more than Braun, in my opinion. But let's move on to go ahead.
He's supposed to be scary, but I don't see him scary. He's just a big, tough guy. I'm not saying he's scary, but I guess he kind of is. I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, they're supposed to build him like he's a monster, so it's like he's not. I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
this is our main event. We have Butch defeating Sami Zayn in a great match after a bitter end by Butch. After the match is when all the chaos happens, the Bloodline, they attack the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns runs down. He attacks everybody. He is about to take out Sheamus until Kevin Owens returns, and we all popped. I freaked out. I'm sure fans at home were happy to see KO back. KO makes a save. He gets distracted by Sami Zayn, but KO is able to nail a stunner. So Dan, what did you think of Kevin Owens being revealed as the fifth member on Drew
It,
McIntyre's team?
it was surprising. I was so happy to see KO back. I mean, considering they said, "Oh, you can't really have him go against Roman anymore" after he lost at the Royal Rumble. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting KO to be back. I mean, I heard, he might be a member. I wasn't sure if he was going to come back or not. So I was happy that it was him. The crowd live popped, and we're just happy. But listen, this is sort of a very quick recap of SmackDown because I was there live. I didn't take a lot of notes. So we have SmackDown that's premiering on Friday. We got Survivor Series this Saturday. Basically, what we learned from this SmackDown is that Kevin Owens is the newest member on the opposing team against the Bloodline at Survivor Series. So, Dan, thank you, sir, for joining me on this recap. Thank your dog as well, as he is a integral member of the Uncensored Pro Wrestling team.
Yeah.
And there's a dog. Hello.
He
Uh,
heard you. He wanted to come say hi.
hello. Look, we're gonna get 1,000,000 likes just because of your dog. That's awesome. See?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, we just saw really Dan just went like right into the camera. That's awesome.
I
Okay,
just
so
dog was doing something. I was trying to get him away from it.
so you guys have a well, we're recording this at night, so have a good night. And then Survivor Series is right around the corner. We got our predictions for the Survivor Series where a new champion is going to be crowned. We have our Raw recap coming out soon. So stay with us. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, our SmackDown recap. Thank you. Stay safe. And we will be with you next time. Bye, y'all.